going on, guys? Freaky Trades here, bringing you another weekly stock watch list. Before we get started, though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We really appreciate that. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the watch list. So, as far as earnings this week goes, as you guys see on your screen, it is absolutely dead. Nothing going on, so we can go ahead and skip everything on here because I know a lot of you guys are waiting to see what we are cooking. Before I get into Spcx, we are going to go over our indexes as per usual with NQ and ES. So if we put NQ and ES on the bigger time frame, obviously we got the sell off last week, and then now we're just back into consolidation because we can't decide on where to go with news and to go with the market, the whole political situation. Nothing is set in stone, basically. So we get sell offs, we sell off, we get good news, we pop all the way back up. So it is just a it's a horrible show right now, so to say the least. So with NQ, I'm looking to keep things pretty simple. We had our crucial support at 29,800. That's what I'm going to be looking at as my resistance now. Without NQ and ES have been moving, if you guys have been paying attention, it's the same thing with QQQ and SPY. Both move very volatile, so it is very doable, not in a day, but it is definitely doable for these indexes to get to those for having this wide of a range of what I'm looking at, which is like roughly 1,000. And it's pretty realistic to have that as a support and a resistance. So for the downside, we didn't have any strong closes. We got one close below 28,700, and then we happened to climb all the way back up. Obviously, that was because of news, but that being said, resistance, I'm looking to keep things really simple. Resistance will be at 29,800. Support will be at 28,700 to the downside. So see if we have any kind of continuation down there. After 28,700, that's a little bit easier to read to the downside. I am looking at around 28,300 where we did wake 2 times off of. So that's NQ. Got no trend lines on that either, which is a lot better for us. ES kind of the same story here. We broke our crucial support at 73.60, and then we made a low and wicked at around 72.50 off of that. So downside support will be below 7,300 just because that's a psychological point on ES, and we haven't really created any support down here yet. So it's mostly off of a psychological level standpoint here. And then again, below 7,300 will be that 7,250 area that we waked 2 to 3 times off of. Upside will be anything above 7,500. You could see that we waked off of there a couple times recently. So that is, keep things as simple as possible. That's what I'll be looking at for ES. So as far as the watch list goes, before you guys get excited, Meta, I got something cooking on this. Not really cooking, but I mean, it's one of the better setups that we've had recently. Meta has had a lot of great plays recently. I've called out 2 or 3 30% plays this week on Meta, this week that we just had. So those were all absolute bangers. Gave the students all entries and alerts on that one. That one was really sick. So with Meta here, I'm looking at this below 560. I'm not looking to play 560. I am waiting for a close below 560 and then a retest at 557. That has been my bread and butter in this kind of market, is just wait for a retest. Don't play the first initial break, just because at least in my books recently, that has just not been working out. That didn't work out in May, so my approach differently is just to wait for a retest, because most plays happen now on a retest, and that's what's been working out really well for me. So if that doesn't work well for you, then you don't have to do what I do, right? But for me, I'm personally going to wait for a close below 560 and for a retest bounce off of 557. So I'm not going to play the initial breakdown on that. So unless for some reason it has an aggressive momentum candle, then maybe some things will change, right? I had to change my plan, but for the meantime, that's what I'm going to be sticking to. It's only $10 away, so it's pretty realistic to get a close below 560 the same day and then get 557. Meta's been moving pretty crazy now, so that is definitely possible. Next up is MU. I am looking at this above 1020. Nothing really too much. There's not too much going on with MU, but the swing that MU had on Friday, just seeing how something, you guys know how MU moves, right? You guys have seen those crazy plays, crazy breakouts that MU can have. So anything above 1010 or 1020 is something ideal for MU for me. So it really just depends if it's going to get momentum above those areas, but it's just something more of like a scalp / mediocre play. But for the watch list, with how much I love MU, that is something that is definitely possible. And then last but not least, really the only genuine stock that everyone in the entire world is watching right now is Spcx. So I was able to capitalize on this on Friday, which was awesome. So options do open up already on Tuesday, which is crazy because almost any other IPO, it takes almost probably 1 to 2 weeks, sometimes even 3 weeks for the options to come out. And the fact they're coming out with options out already on SpaceX after it's IPO'd for it'll be 2 market days, 2 business days, I guess, which will be Friday, Monday, and then Tuesday. Options will be open, so that'll be something very nice to look at. Now, if we're talking option wise, because I'm not gonna short this stock. I don't like shorting shares just because even though it's the same thing as playing puts, I just don't. So for the meantime, for Monday, while shares are still available, I do like this above 175 into the new high at 176. My target on that would roughly be 177, 178. It depends. SpaceX has the way they moved on Friday. Obviously, it's the initial day. It's a lot of momentum, a lot of buying. So obviously, those breakouts are really nice. But that's what I'll be watching to the upside. And if it doesn't break that and it happens to consolidate in this area of 150 to 170 until Tuesday where options are open, then I'll be looking to the downside at 150 with puts. Because you can see these are a lot of misprints as well. I mean, if I go on the 1 minute, you guys can see these were a lot of misprints. But that is the area that I'm watching because that is the area we opened up above, right? Yeah. So we opened up exactly pretty much at 150. So that's why I'll be looking at puts to the downside if we happen to come down to 150. And upside, same thing. If we happen to consolidate, then I'll be looking at 175 for calls, right? Calls above there. So, but yeah, that's about it for the watch list. Not too much going on. I don't have anything on Tesla. Tesla didn't really do much. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Didn't get really to cook much just because it's pretty dead week. It's also FOMC week as well. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Before you go though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate that. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy and take care. Peace out.